let's be honest, trying to figure out diets and weight loss. It feels like you're just going through a maze blindfolded. Every day there's some new fad, some new miracle cure, a new study that seems to contradict everything you thought you knew.
It can be overwhelming.
Yeah.
It's exhausting.
Absolutely. The sheer volume of information out there, and honestly, misinformation, can be so overwhelming. But what if I told you there's a way to potentially improve your health without having to obsess over calorie counting or eliminating entire food groups?
Okay, now you've got my attention.
I am all for simplifying things, especially when it comes to something like nutrition. So what's the secret?
Well, it's not really a secret, but it's often overlooked in our culture of quick fixes and wanting things instantly. It's called intermittent fasting, and it focuses on when you eat rather than what you eat.
So it's not another diet telling me to give up carbs or fat. I am intrigued. Tell me more about this intermittent fasting approach.
Intermittent fasting, or IF, is all about cycling between periods of eating and voluntarily fasting on a regular schedule. So it's not about restricting what you eat, but rather when you eat.
That's a refreshing change from all the restrictive diets out there. I have to admit, the word fasting sounds a bit intimidating, like images of extreme deprivation and hunger pangs.
I totally get that. But the beauty of intermittent fasting is that it's much more manageable than you might think. And the potential benefits are truly remarkable. They range from weight loss and improved mental clarity to reduced inflammation and even a longer lifespan.
Wait, you're saying that simply changing what I eat could have that kind of impact on my health? It's a pretty bold claim.
It might sound too good to be true, but there's actually a growing body of scientific evidence supporting these claims. One review looked at 85 studies and was published in a leading medical journal. It concluded that intermittent fasting should be considered a first-line treatment for a wide range of health conditions, including obesity, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, neurodegenerative brain conditions, and even cancer.
Wow, that's impressive. So it's not just some fringe health trend. This is serious science.
Exactly. And the exciting thing is researchers are always discovering new benefits of intermittent fasting, from its impact on gut health to its potential to slow down aging.
Okay, I'm definitely interested in learning more. But before we get into all the details, can you give me a simple explanation of how intermittent fasting actually works? Like, what's happening in my body when I'm fasting?
So think of it this way. Your body has two primary ways to generate energy. The first is by burning glucose, which comes from the carbs you eat. And the other is by burning fat, which is stored in your body. Intermittent fasting allows your body to switch over to this fat-burning state, a process called metabolic switching.
So it's like flipping a metabolic switch.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty straightforward. I'm still a bit fuzzy on how simply compressing my eating window actually leads to weight loss.
Well, it's a combination of factors. First, intermittent fasting helps stabilize blood sugar levels. When you eat frequently throughout the day, your blood sugar is constantly spiking and crashing, which can lead to cravings, energy slumps, and even insulin resistance.
That makes sense. I've definitely experienced those afternoon energy crashes after a carb-heavy lunch.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And when your blood sugar is stable, you're less likely to experience those intense cravings that can sabotage your weight loss efforts.
Yeah, so intermittent fasting helps with those pesky cravings. That's a huge plus in my book.
It is. And here's where it gets even more fascinating. When your body switches to burning fat for fuel, it produces ketones. These ketones travel to the brain and actually turn off your hunger signals.
Wow. So my body's essentially telling my brain, hey, we've got plenty of energy here from stored fat. No need to raid the pantry.
Precisely. It's quite remarkable how your body adapts to using its own energy reserves. But there are even more benefits to consider. Intermittent fasting also triggers a process called autophagy.
Autophagy? That sounds intense.
It is, in a good way. Imagine your body having its own built-in recycling and repair system, a way to clear out damaged cells and regenerate new ones.
Wait, so it's like my cells are doing their own spring cleaning.
That's a great analogy. Autophagy is essentially our body's way of cleaning house, getting rid of cellular debris, and promoting cellular renewal. And guess what triggers this powerful process?
I have a feeling I know the answer. Intermittent fasting.
Exactly.
This is incredible. It's like, by simply changing what I eat, I'm giving my body the tools to repair and rejuvenate itself.
You got it. And this has a cascading effect on our overall health and longevity.
Okay, I'm officially intrigued. This intermittent fasting thing sounds like a game changer. I have to be honest, the idea of intentionally going without food for extended periods still feels a bit daunting. I'm not sure I could handle feeling hungry all the time.
I understand your concerns. It's normal to be apprehensive about something new, especially when it challenges our ingrained eating habits. But the good news is there are different approaches to intermittent fasting. and you can find a method that fits your lifestyle and comfort level.
So it's not a one-size-fits-all approach. That's reassuring. Tell me more about these different approaches. What are my options?
There are actually 6 different lengths of fasting, each with its own unique set of benefits. We can explore those in more detail later, but for now, let's focus on the most approachable form of intermittent fasting, which involves a fasting window of 12 to 16 hours.
That sounds manageable. So if I stopped eating at 9 p.m., I could start eating again between 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. the next day. The time I'm sleeping actually counts towards the fasting window.
Exactly. It's easier than you might think. And you don't have to jump right into a 16-hour fast. You can start by gradually pushing back your breakfast by an hour or 2 each day until you reach a fasting window that feels comfortable.
Okay, that makes sense. Start small and gradually work my way up. But what about those longer fasts? Are they safe? And what kind of benefits can I expect from those?
Those are great questions, and ones we'll definitely explore further as we continue our discussion of intermittent fasting. But for now, let's focus on laying the foundation and understanding the basic principles.
Sounds good to me. I'm ready to dive deeper into this fascinating world of intermittent fasting.
Excellent. Let's unpack those different fasting lengths and see which one might be the best fit for you.
Okay, I'm all ears. Okay, so we've established that intermittent fasting isn't about what you eat, but when you eat. And we touched on the idea that different fasting lengths offer varying benefits. I'm ready to unpack those different lengths. What's the shortest fasting window, and what kind of results can I expect?
So the shortest and often easiest to incorporate into your routine is the 12 to 16 hour fast. This simply means having a period of 12 to 16 hours each day where you don't consume calories.
That feels very doable, and you said this is a good starting point.
It is, yeah. This is where you'll experience benefits like fat burning and reduced inflammation. It's like giving your body a chance to catch its breath and focus on its internal processes.
Makes sense. So I can start by pushing back breakfast an hour or two and see how I feel. What about the next level up?
The 13-hour fast, while only slightly longer studies have shown that fasting for at least 13 hours can trigger an increase in growth hormone and testosterone in men.
Interesting. I'm starting to see how these longer fasts unlock more specific benefits. So longer fasts equal more benefits.
Generally speaking, yes. The next level up is a 24-hour fast, which I call the gut reset fast.
Now we're talking. What happens to my gut after a full day of fasting?
Fasting for a full 24 hours actually stimulates the production of intestinal stem cells, which are essential for repairing and renewing your gut lining. It's like hitting the reset button on your digestive system.
Wow, that's incredible. Not only am I burning fat and boosting hormones, but I'm also improving my gut health. What comes after the 24-hour fast?
Next is where we start to see some serious fat burning potential. A 36-hour fast, or what I like to call the fat burner fast, has been shown to trigger significant belly fat loss.
Okay, hold on. 36 hours with no food sounds pretty intense. Is it even safe to go that long without eating?
For most healthy adults, yes. But, as always, it's important to listen to your body and consult with your doctor, especially if you have any underlying health conditions. One study showed impressive results with participants fasting for 36 hours, followed by a 12-hour eating window for 30 days.
I'm starting to see why people get so excited about this. What comes after the 36-hour mark?
We then move into the 48-hour fast, also known as the dopamine reset. Fasting for this length of time has shown a remarkable ability to reset your dopamine system.
Dopamine. That's the neurotransmitter associated with pleasure and reward,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. It's crucial for motivation, focus, and overall mood. By resetting the dopamine system through a 48-hour fast, you can increase your sensitivity to dopamine, making those feel-good effects even more powerful.
So it's not just about physical benefits, but mental and emotional benefits too. I like where this is going.
And a 48-hour fast also has the added benefit of lowering anxiety levels.
Wow, this is amazing. Sign me up for a dopamine reset. But there was one more fasting length, right? What's the longest fast you recommend?
The final and longest fast I typically recommend is the 72-hour fast, which I call the immune reset fast.
72 hours. 3 full days. That's commitment. What happens during that time that makes it so beneficial for the immune system?
This extended fast gives your body a chance to completely recycle and reboot its immune cells. It's like hitting the refresh button on your entire immune system, leading to a more robust and efficient immune response.
So it's like a deep cleanse for the immune system.
Exactly. And this can be particularly beneficial for those who are struggling with autoimmune conditions or who want to give their immune system a boost.
Okay, that's all 6 fasting lengths from 12 hours to 72 hours. I'm really starting to see how customizable this approach is, but I have to admit, even starting with a shorter fast feels a bit daunting. What if I just can't handle the hunger?
Well, it's normal to feel some hunger, especially when you're first starting out, but as your body adapts to using fat for fuel, that discomfort often lessens.
So the key is to push through the initial discomfort knowing that it will get easier.
You got it.
Yeah.
And there are strategies you can use to minimize those hunger pangs and make the transition smoother.
Okay, I'm all ears. What tips do you have for navigating those early days of intermittent fasting?
First, hydration is key. Often those feelings of hunger are actually signals of thirst. So make sure you're drinking plenty of water throughout the day, especially during your fasting window. It'll help curb those cravings and keep you feeling energized.
So step 1, drink more water.
Got it.
What else can I do to make those fasting hours easier?
Another important tip is to focus on staying busy. When you're bored or inactive, it's easy for your mind to wander to thoughts of food. So stay busy with work hobbies, social activities, anything that keeps your mind engaged and off of eating.
Distraction is key. So work hobbies, anything but scrolling through food blogs.
Exactly. And remember, it's okay to start slowly. You don't have to jump into a 16-hour fast right away. Start by pushing back your breakfast by an hour or two and gradually increase your fasting window as you feel more comfortable.
Okay, that's reassuring. Small, gradual changes are key. But what if I get to the point where I want to try a longer fast? Are there any special considerations I need to keep in mind?
There are. Longer fasts, like those beyond 24 hours, require a bit more planning and preparation. You'll want to make sure you're adequately hydrated, and it's a good idea to ease into them, gradually increasing your fasting window over time.
Okay, so listen to my body and work my way up. But what about those amazing benefits you mentioned earlier, like the anti-aging effects of autophagy? Do I have to do those super long fasts to experience that cellular cleanup?
You don't. While longer fasts definitely ramp up autophagy, even shorter periods of fasting can trigger this beneficial process.
So even if I'm just doing a 16-hour fast a few times a week, I'm still reaping some of those cellular benefits.
You are. It's important to remember that every time you fast, even for a shorter period, you're giving your body a chance to switch from growth mode to cleanup mode. And that's when the magic of autophagy kicks in.
That's fantastic. I'm starting to see how powerful even those shorter fasts can be. But I know we touched upon the fact that men and women may experience fasting differently. Can you explain that a bit more?
Absolutely. Hormonal variations between men and women can play a significant role in how their bodies respond to fasting. For women, it's particularly important to sync fasting periods with their menstrual cycle to optimize results.
Okay, now we're getting into the nuances. I'm really interested in this interplay between hormones and fasting.
Yeah.
What do women need to know?
Remember how we talked about estrogen thriving during fasting? Well, this is especially true during the first half of a woman's cycle leading up to ovulation.
So a woman might find it easier to fast during that part of her cycle.
Exactly. Her body is naturally primed for that metabolic switch.
Okay, that makes sense. But what about the second half of the cycle?
Progesterone, which is dominant in the second half of a woman's cycle, needs higher glucose levels to function optimally, especially in the week before a woman's period.
So a woman might want to shorten her fasting window or even take a break from fasting during that premenstrual week.
That's a great strategy for many women. It's all about listening to your body and working with its natural rhythms.
This is fascinating. It really highlights the importance of taking a personalized approach to intermittent fasting. It's not just about following a rigid set of rules. It's about understanding your body and finding what works best for you.
Exactly. And there's a powerful tool that can help you gain those insights and personalize your approach even further, a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM.
I remember you mentioned that earlier. Can you explain how a CGM can be helpful for someone who's practicing intermittent fasting?
A CGM is a small device that you wear on your arm, and it continuously tracks your blood sugar levels throughout the day and night. This gives you real-time data on how your body is responding to different foods, activities, and even stress.
So it's like having a personal blood sugar detective working around the clock.
You could say that. And for women, it can be particularly helpful in understanding how their hormonal cycles are impacting their blood sugar and how to best adapt their intermittent fasting protocols.
So a woman could use a CGM to see how her blood sugar responds to different fasting lengths or eating windows during various phases of her cycle.
Exactly. It takes all the guesswork out of it. You can see in real time how your body is reacting and make adjustments accordingly.
This is revolutionary. I can't believe we've lived this long without having this kind of insight into our bodies.
It's truly remarkable how technology is empowering us to understand our health in ways we never thought possible. But at the end of the day, it's not just about the technology or the data. It's about using those insights to make informed choices that support your overall well-being.
I love that. It's about taking control of our health and using these tools to create a lifestyle that nourishes our bodies and minds.
Exactly. And that brings us to another crucial aspect of intermittent fasting that we haven't discussed yet: what you eat during those eating windows. Remember, while intermittent fasting is about when you eat, what you eat still matters.
Right. It's not a free pass to indulge in unhealthy foods all the time. So what are the best foods to eat when I'm breaking my fast?
That's a great question, and one we'll dive into in the next part of our deep dive. We'll explore the best foods to support your body during those eating windows and how to make choices that optimize your energy focus and overall health.
This is getting more and more exciting. I can't wait to learn more about how to make those eating windows work for me.
I'm looking forward to sharing those insights with you. Stay tuned because there's much more to uncover.
Welcome back. I'm still thinking about our conversation about personalized approaches to intermittent fasting and the power of using a CGM to fine-tune your strategy. But now I'm really curious about what to eat during those precious eating windows. After all, it's not a free pass to go crazy with junk food, right?
You're exactly right. Intermittent fasting is a powerful tool, but it's not magic. What you eat during your eating windows still matters, especially if you want to maximize the benefits. It's all about nourishing your body with the right fuel to support your health and energy levels.
Okay, so let's talk about food. What should I be focusing on when it's time to break my fast?
The key is to choose foods that stabilize blood sugar levels and minimize insulin spikes. Remember, one of the amazing benefits of intermittent fasting is its ability to stabilize blood sugar, and we want to support that process through our food choices.
So foods that provide sustained energy and keep me feeling satisfied without those dramatic peaks and crashes. Makes sense.
Precisely. And that means focusing on a balance of protein, healthy fats, and complex carbohydrates.
Okay, break that down for me. What are some examples of foods that fit into each of those categories?
Well, protein is crucial for satiety, muscle repair, and overall metabolic function. So think lean meats, poultry, fish, eggs, beans, lentils, tofu. These provide a steady release of energy and keep you feeling fuller for longer.
Got it. So protein is like the foundation of my eating window meals. What about healthy fats?
Healthy fats are essential for hormone production, cell function, and brain health. They also help slow down digestion, further contributing to stable blood sugar and sustained energy. Some excellent sources of healthy fats include avocados, nuts, seeds, olive oil, and fatty fish like salmon and sardines.
Okay, so avocados, nuts, and olive oil are my friends. What about carbs? Are they completely off limits?
Not at all. Carbohydrates provide energy, but the key is to choose the right kinds of carbs. We want to focus on complex carbohydrates that are rich in fiber, which helps slow down digestion and prevent those blood sugar spikes.
So what are some examples of those good carbs?
Think fruits, vegetables, and whole grains. Things like berries, leafy greens, broccoli, quinoa, brown rice, and sweet potatoes. These provide a steady release of energy, keep you feeling full, and support gut health.
This is starting to paint a picture of what my meals should look like. A good balance of lean protein, healthy fats, and those fiber-rich complex carbs.
Exactly. And remember, it's not just about what you eat, but also about how much you eat. Intermittent fasting doesn't give you a free pass to overeat during your eating windows. It's still important to be mindful of portion sizes and to listen to your body's hunger and fullness cues.
Right. It's all about finding that balance and being in tune with my body's needs. But let's be honest, sometimes those cravings hit, and it's hard to resist those sugary treats. Any tips for navigating those moments?
Well, cravings are normal. Don't beat yourself up if you find yourself wanting something sweet, but there are strategies you can use to manage those cravings. First, make sure you're addressing those basic needs. We talked about protein, healthy fats, and fiber. Often when we're craving sugar, it's because our blood sugar is out of whack and we haven't provided our bodies with those stabilizing nutrients.
So if I'm craving a bowl of ice cream, I'm better off having a balanced meal or snack that includes protein, fat, and fiber.
Exactly. It's likely to satisfy that craving in a more sustainable way without sending your blood sugar on a roller coaster ride. And remember, hydration is key. Sometimes those feelings of hunger or cravings are actually signals of thirst.
Right. Drink more water. It's amazing how often we overlook that basic need.
It's true. And one final tip for managing cravings: don't deprive yourself completely. If you're truly craving something, allow yourself a small indulgence, but be mindful of portion size and savor it. Enjoy every bite without guilt.
That's great advice. It's all about moderation, not deprivation. But what about those longer fasts? The ones beyond 24 hours? Are there any special dietary considerations I need to keep in mind when I'm breaking those longer fasts?
Yes, it's important to ease back into eating slowly and gently when breaking a longer fast. Start with easily digestible foods like bone broth soups and smoothies, then gradually reintroduce solid foods, focusing on those blood sugar stabilizing choices we talked about earlier.
So no diving headfirst into a giant pizza after a 48-hour fast.
Probably not the best idea. Your digestive system needs a little time to readjust after an extended fasting period.
Good to know. I'm really starting to appreciate the nuanced approach to intermittent fasting. It's not just about blindly following rules, it's about understanding the science, listening to your body, and making choices that support your individual needs and goals.
That's exactly it. And remember, this is a journey, not a destination. There will be times when you slip up or deviate from your plan, and that's okay. The key is to approach it with curiosity, self-compassion, and a willingness to experiment and find what works best for you.
This has been an incredible deep dive into intermittent fasting. We've covered so much ground, from the science behind it to the practical tips for making it a sustainable part of our lives. We've explored the different types of fasts, the crucial role of hormones, the power of autophagy, and the importance of making wise food choices during our eating windows.
It's been an amazing journey of discovery, and I'm thrilled that we could share these insights with you. Remember, you have the power to take control of your health and well-being. By tapping into your body's natural ability to heal and regenerate, you can optimize your health, slow down the aging process, and live a longer, more vibrant life.
That's an inspiring message to end on. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise and passion for this topic.
Yeah.
I have a feeling our listeners are walking away with a whole new perspective on the power of intermittent fasting.
It's been my pleasure. I encourage everyone to approach intermittent fasting with an open mind and a willingness to experiment. You might just be surprised by how this simple shift in your eating pattern can transform your health and well-being.
And to our listeners, we'd love to hear from you. Have you tried intermittent fasting? What benefits have you experienced? What challenges have you faced? Share your stories and insights with us. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and keep diving deep